Good morning all. In this video, we'll see how to evaluate risk and return of a portfolio using Markowitz method. Let's say here in this example, I'm just limiting myself to two asset portfolio. Like I have a stock of HUL in my portfolio and certain stocks of Infosys. I have gathered closing prices of HUL and Infosys from 2011 to 2021. On that basis, first I will determine the risk and return of each of the stock, and then I will uh, explain you if we are forming a portfolio of these two securities at different weights invested in each of the security, and what will be the my return and risk of that particular portfolio. For this, I have used Markowitz formula for return and risk calculation, which is visible on your screen towards your right. So first of all, I will start with return calculations. Return, actual, and fee. So we'll apply the same formula for return, that is PT plus 1 minus PT divided by PT into 100. Now I have got return of HUL as well as for Infosys. These are the annual returns. Now on that basis, I am evaluating the mean return. So I'm again using Excel inbuilt formula, that is average. I have selected my data. So mean average return of HUL was 21.29%, and next step, I'm evaluating the variance of each of the stock. Variance of HUL, likewise for Infosys. From this, I am again calculating the standard deviation. So 20%, 20.25% is the risk of HUL, while 39.36% is the risk of Infosys measured in terms of their variance. Now, next thing which I want to determine is the correlation among the securities. Correlation between HUL and Infosys. So I'm using again the inbuilt function of Excel for correlation. So I've entered the first data array and the second. Correlation among securities minus 0.1944. Now I'm forming the portfolio. For portfolio, I'm putting different weights on Infosys and HUL, and correspondingly what will be the risk of my portfolio and return of my portfolio. So let's say I'm putting zero weight, means I'm not investing anything in HUL, then my investment in Infosys will be 1 minus whatever I have invested in HUL. So that is 100% will be in Infosys only. So first return, that is nothing but summation of this multiplication of weights assigned to HUL into its mean return plus weights assigned to Infosys into its mean return. Again, I will freeze the returns. So by pressing function and F4 key, here also by putting function and F4, I have freezed my returns so that if I vary my weights, it will not affect my calculation. Next, for risk, using the formula, risk says W weights in HUL into its standard deviation, square of that plus weight put in Infosys into its standard deviation, square of that plus 2 into weights in HUL into weights put in Infosys into standard deviation of Infosys and HUL and multiplication it with correlation among the securities. I have got the risk for this particular portfolio. I will freeze certain cells like these, risk and correlation. Right. So now this is my portfolio number, that is serial number. I am changing weights from 0 to, let's say, 5% I am putting in HUL and I'm just increasing it by 5% every time. And maximum, I'm just investing 100% on HUL. So in the same manner, if I am putting 5% in HUL, then remaining 95% will be invested in Infosys. For that, I have got different risk and return. And mind you, these all are different portfolios. These all are different portfolios. If I'm putting 100% in one portfolio, I'm putting 100% in Infosys, then my return of my portfolio is 1.31%, while the variance of my portfolio is 1549. While if I'm putting 100% in HUL while 0% in Infosys, my returns over the period were 21% and the risk in terms of variance is 410.1416. Let's plot this relationship, that risk and return relationship, on a scatter diagram just to observe what kind of relationship it holds. Right. So this is the relationship between risk and return of my portfolio. On x-axis, it is the risk of my portfolio, while on y-axis, it is the return of my portfolio. These all returns are possible at different all these returns, all these are all different portfolios which are giving me a different level of risk, at different level of risk a different return. But this is the point which is representing minimum risk at my portfolio. This is the minimum risk portfolio. These all are, these all points are frontier or known as frontier. But the section which lies above this point is known as efficient frontier. Why efficient frontier? Because at given level of risk, let's say at this level, I have two portfolios will give me at same level of risk, one, let's say this A portfolio and B portfolio. So the return generated from B portfolio is more than return generated by A portfolio. So it will happen for all portfolios lying above this point. So that is why this particular section is known as efficient frontier. This particular section is known as efficient frontier. Now, the next is we can determine a portfolio which is optimum in nature. That is for portfolio with minimum risk. For that, I'm just using solver. I will go to data tab. Okay, that solver thing will explain in next videos when we have more than two securities in my portfolio. For the time being, I've explained in this video just how to form a portfolio of two securities and then what is the relationship between risk and return of these two securities. So in the next videos, further discussion will take place. Thank you.